just brushing my teeth, and I thought of a few times in your life when you have taught me the greatest life lesson that I've ever had. Children are there to bring you into your true love, and if you've been disconnected yourself, especially if it's multiple generations where it's not the way it should be, let's say, and it's no one's fault, I may add, it's very tough to suddenly, especially in England, just to be dumped with a baby and there you go mate, get on with it kind of thing. I know there is support and stuff, but the culture, especially in UK, America and parts of Europe, not all of Europe, about childcare and family values, and the only thing that matters really in life, who gives a fuck what job you've got, who cares what car you drive, it's all about not transferring all the crap you've got or any little minor things down to your generation. So over time, over generations, maybe 1,000, 2,000 years, maybe even 200, it gets better. That's the whole point. I do think humanity is getting better, especially at the moment. We won't go into that. But I'm going to go through a few times you have broken my heart. I've broken my own heart, I suppose, because everything's a reflection, as I've said in other videos, where you've really made me sort of wake up and sort my shit out, basically. So one of the first times from memory is, I'm not reading anything, I'm literally just going from memory. One of the first times is when you, William, were in the back of a van in Spain, and we were going to not Gibraltar, Alhambra, and we put you in the back. It's all tickety-boo, everybody was asleep, and you just started screaming, going mental, and I was just like, William, be quiet, come on, shut up, kind of thing. Not that derogatory, but, and it had been hard anyway. And what I hadn't realised is you didn't like the back of a car. Every time you come back from Monica's, you wouldn't be in the front, you'd be in the back, and you'd be screaming. And I remember Anya coming out so many times, every day or every week, so pissed off because all you'd done is scream all the way home, and there's nothing she could have done to have made you feel better. And it's only like not long ago I thought that the reason you don't like sitting in the back of cars is because I made you go to a child sitter who did school runs, and obviously you're sat in the back of a car, potentially in the summer you're hot, or in the winter you're cold, and she wasn't the best. She was old school discipline, I think, and I don't think she worked with you. Some kids would be perfect with, but not with you. You need someone that's more emotionally, just on your level emotionally, that can deal with the emotions you have, because you're a very emotional, sensitive child. The headmistress, actually, Mrs. Summers, said you wear your heart on your whatever, which I thought was very sweet. Anyway, you looked at me really like out of hate, and I literally jumped to the back and grabbed you. Very what's the word? Low vibrational frequency, you know, fight or flight reptilian shit. I grabbed you. I just felt this absolute anger for you, because it was it's the anger you're giving me. It was a mirror basically, and it bang, you know, it's horrible. And Edward, bless him, woke up and got scared, obviously, and started screaming. So not only did you teach me, well, I did that to you, and I could have kept doing that, but Edward taught me, there's two, you both taught me something actually. Edward taught me compassion, and I flipped out of it. I was like, that's just wrong, you know? And I immediately grabbed Edward. I'm like, so sorry, because I've hardly ever made Edward upset. I've never had to tell him off. We'll go on, well, a couple of times, which we'll go into in a minute. And I thought, you know what? It's one of the first times, you know, you have to just surrender to everything in life. I'll do a total video on that, surrendering to things. And I thought, what's the problem? I just put you in the front, and because a lot of parents, they worry about, oh, if I do this, it's going to cause that, and oh my god, by the time he's 15, he's going to be like this. And it's very difficult for a parent that cares and that worries about the future, which doesn't exist, to get into habits like that. It's really, really bad. For the child and also for the parent. It's a duality. So I put you in the front, you were tickety boo, all good. Ed was in the back, he was fine, he loved it, he was kipping, enjoying things. And from then on, you didn't really mind the car so much, actually. And you've been in the front quite a lot, you've been in the back, you've been cool. And I just did not realise, I didn't have the compassion or the insight to realise the damage I had done just from that. But that's one way that you taught me. You really did. And another one, actually, William, I'll do one more for you. You said something recently. I'm going to do lots of these as they crop up. You said something recently when you were sat here in the office. You were actually doing something really cool, like a science document, all on your own. No one told you to do it. It was amazing. You got a Headmistress Award. I think that was the time. And I was just out there, and I was saying to you, I said, you've had a really tough year, haven't you, William? You should be so proud of yourself. And that's how far I've gone from there to there. And it's much easier now I can talk to you. And you said, yeah, you know. And I said, we do try our best, you know. We're not the perfect parents, but we do try. And you said something very wise. You said, Daddy, nobody can be perfect. Do you know what I mean? And that's like proper wise. And if you're a bit older, you could have probably, you would have said a lot more. But I knew you meant, you knew what you meant. And that was your way of saying thank you. So thank you to you. Because we both worked very hard, myself and your mum. And it's lovely when, at the age of 6, I think you were, maybe, 6, maybe even earlier, it was like maybe 5, I can't remember. Hearing something like that is so fantastic. So Edward, the one time that you've seriously taught me a big lesson, is when it was during the L downs, and you were running around the house with Jacob, and I went into that zone again, which I could do, and don't do it so much now. And I hit you, I slapped you in the leg, because you weren't doing as you were told. And it was a little bit too, well, it was a lot too hard, I think, so it really upset you, and that was definitely not fair. It was totally out of order, and you didn't deserve it, and I shouldn't do it anyway, because hitting kids, all it does is teach them that it's okay to go and hit kids, and you will repeat those things when you become an adult. Yeah, I used to think it was fine to hit my dog, for example, or my children. I used to hit Willow quite hard when I first had her, and then I realised how wrong that is. You know, you don't need to hit anyone, and all that does is send a bad message. Anyway, I felt immediately sorry. I did apologise, actually, and what broke my heart was when you were sat in a tent with Jacob in the garden, and I was just next to the tent, and I heard you say, "I'm really scared of my daddy." Do you know what I mean? And that was just like, whoa. And immediately that was like, I'm on the wrong track here. And I still am. I'm still trying to improve. But that gave me a massive, like, wake-up call to basically not be a dominant twat. And actually work with you, be more emotional with you. Although I've always been quite close to you when you've been upset, especially when you've got up every night at 4 o'clock for God knows how long. Because you've always been good company. I understand you. We're very similar. When else have you both taught me a good lesson? Let's have that as the first video. I'll have a little think and we'll come back to the next one. So, thank you very much. Bonjour.